Welcome to Chewonki. My name is Emily, and today we're going to be celebrating summer outside by baking over a fire. I'm joined by my good friends Hannah and Alex, who are going to tell us about how we can make a delicious treat outside. Hello.
Hey Emily.
So Hannah, what are we going to be doing today?
Yeah, our challenge for everyone at home and what we're going to be doing out here is baking a cake and doing as much of it as we can outside. So at home, that could mean just stirring up the ingredients. If you have the ability to make a fire or bake over the grill, you can do that, or just in your oven. And then make sure you celebrate by eating your treat outside.
Oh, I love a good picnic.
Yeah. Alex, do you want to tell us a little bit about how to build a fire and some fire safety?
Sure. So, in order to build a good fire, you need a few things in order to start. First off, it's good to have it in a contained area so that the fire doesn't spread out and go everywhere. The other thing is to have some good safety precautions. We have a bucket of water here, which will help either contain the fire or put it out once we are all set and done with it. The other thing that you need to do is to make sure that you have adult supervision. That is very important because it's good to have your parents help you along with the project, but also to make sure that things can stay contained and not go out of control. And it's also very important to make sure that you can have fires in your local area. So check out with your local fire departments on protocols of that. In order to build a fire, we have our three pieces. We have our tinder, which is our birch bark here, which burns hot and fast to get it started. Then we have our kindling, which is smaller twigs, about the size of a pencil, and you can break them up and they'll burn nice. And then once you have enough of that going, you can throw on a little bit of the bigger pieces. These are the big pieces of wood that will keep your fire rolling really hot and nice. I think we're all set. We got a good fire going. Hannah, take it away.
I think we're ready to bake, Alex. So to get started, you want to make sure your heat source, whether it's a fire, an oven, or a grill, is preheated. On our fire, we want to make sure that we have good hot coals on the bottom, but our flames aren't too big. So that will make sure we're getting hot heat, but not burning. We also want to find the appropriate pan to be cooking in. Out on trips, we have some different options. If we're staying closer to home, we might use something like our Dutch oven. The Dutch oven is really heavy, but it has thick metal that will protect your cake from burning. We don't use these quite as often as our fry bake, and this is more like a pan that you might have at home. It has pretty thin metal, but will still hold up in the fire. But if you can find a pan with a lid, that's really helpful so we can bake our cake from both directions. Our first step is going to be to grease our fry bake. And it's really important that it's well greased all along the bottom and along the edges of your pan. All right, that looks good to go. Our next step is going to be to mix our water in our cake mix. We're using a gingerbread mix today. I'm going to mix it right in the bag to try to reduce the amount of dishes that we have. So I'm going to roll down the edges. And I'm going to pour the water in pretty slowly to make sure I don't put in too much and my batter is runny. When you're baking outside, you often don't have measuring cups, so you have to go slowly and really watch the consistency to make sure you're getting these things right. This is looking pretty good. So the final step is going to be getting your cake mix right into your pre-greased pan. I'm going to do that by taking my bag and turning it inside out right in there. This is when a spatula comes in handy. You're going to want to scrape off all that delicious batter to make sure we don't lose any. Once all of our batter is out, we're going to want to smooth our cake around in the bottom of our pan. The more even it is, the more evenly it will bake. That looks pretty good to me. Let's go put it on the fire. I think we're ready to put the cake on. Alex, do you want to put the grate down?
Can do.
When we're baking with a thin pan like this, it's good to put it just above the fire on something like a grate. If you have a thicker pan, like a Dutch oven or a cast iron, you might be able to put it directly on the coals.
So Hannah, Alex, what else do we have to do? Are we done? Do we just wait?
Almost. The next thing we have to do is kind of build a little fire on top of the pan. For us, this helps us to create another heat source for the fire so that it doesn't just cook from the bottom, it can cook from the top in a nice even way.
Well, just the way it would in an oven at home.
Exactly.
Okay, so we need to build a twiggy fire on top.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Now that we've caught our breath and the fire is going, what should we do while we wait?
Well, we've got to let our gingerbread bake. So I thought while that's happening, maybe we could set up a little picnic area to enjoy our cake when it's finished. And Alex, since you're a tea enthusiast, maybe you could get us a little something to drink to go with our delicious dessert.
You know it. I'll go get right on that.
Let's do it. Thank you so much, Hannah and Alex, for helping make this delicious cake and for sharing it with me and some of my stuffed animal friends. We would love to see what you make in celebration of summer and what you share with your friends and family. Have a tea party, make something delicious, and please send us pictures. We'd love to see your stuffed animals eating your creations. Thanks again. Bye. See you next time.